Capital News tonight. 3 people killed by lightning in Kibondo District, Kigoma region. Government confiscates smuggled minerals in Geita. And in sports, the Premier League game between Yanga Sports Club and Tanzania Prisons ends with a 1-0 draw in Sumbawanga, Rukwa region. Good evening, this is Capital News at 9:30. My name is Khadija Zimbwe. First, the national news. 3 people have died after being struck by lightning, while 33 families were made homeless after their homes were destroyed by a hailstorm in Kibondo village, Kibondo District, Kigoma region. Among the dead, 2 were Burundian nationals. In the incident, 3 people were also injured.
Some houses have been unroofed and others have collapsed.
Hali ilitokea mvua nyingi sana ya upepo na mawe.
There was a lot of rain accompanied by hailstones which lasted for about 15 minutes.
Vitu vimenyeshewa na mvua, vingine vimeharibika. Vaa viatu vya huyo mtu.
We got some items to help with relief efforts so that people continue to sustain themselves despite of the problem.
The government has confiscated 300 bags of unprocessed gold, which has been smuggled out of Kahama in Shinyanga region. Addressing gold miners in Nyarugusu mine area in Geita region, the Minister of Minerals, Dr. Biteko, warned the government will arrest and revoke licenses of mine owners and miners found to smuggle minerals.
Leo asubuhi usiku tumekamata mawe hapa Segesi mifuko 300 kama na 20.
Last night we confiscated minerals in Segesi, about 320 bags which were stolen. We've nationalized them. We've taken them all and auctioned them. There is no additional charges for a license holder to use the area. If there are more small-scale miners relocating, it means that we need more land to mine.
Ili yale maeneo yaweze kufanyiwa tafiti na baada ya kufanyiwa tafiti tuweze kujua maeneo.
On those areas, this will give us credibility.
The President of Zanzibar and Chairman of the Revolutionary Council, Dr. Hussein Mwinyi, has met with employees in the health sector to listen to and address challenges facing them, where they also say that there is need to look into new ways of getting revenue instead of depending on the government budget.
Wajibu wa kutizama alternative sources ya financing.
This is why our counterpart have other sources. There is the government budget and other sources. We have tourists coming in, should we treat them for free? But there are also people with money who would like to take out insurance. I don't want a loan because I've been through school on a grant. However, the salary is very low. We have good equipment, but we don't have knowledge on how to operate them.
The police force in Singida has arrested 3 people following allegations of sabotaging infrastructure belonging to Tanzania Electric Supply Company, Rural Energy Agency, and the Clean and Safe Water and Environment Authority in Singida region.
Vifaa vilivyopatikana ni drop out fuse zilizokuwa ndani ya maboksi matano.
Items that were found are block out fuse that were inside boxes, 150 pieces in total, amongst other items. The investigation shows the accused in one way or another are involved in buying and selling of scrap metal.
Vipande 9 vya base plate na vipande 10 vya suspension.
Tribal leaders from the pastoral community in various villages of Simanjiro district, Manyara region, have started to use the 70 cane stroke punishment against livestock keepers who sell land without following procedures, a situation that has contributed to frequent land disputes.
We do cane our young men who had cattle when they do wrong. We don't hurt them, but it is meant to serve as a lesson. If the title deeds get to the villages and the village authorities start to use them, it will create a happy environment. There are certain individuals who have been the cause of land misuse in Simanjiro. If he is caned, he will not repeat, and we must start with village chair.
The Deputy Minister of Water, Engineer Mary Priska Mahundi, has directed for a team of experts to be formed to investigate Lukata Water Project in Rungwe District, Mbeya region, after the Rural Water Distribution Agency, RUWASA, requested for more funds to look for another water source despite abandoning the Lukata Water Project, which has incurred the government 30 million shillings.
Hapa tulipotoka sasa hivi ni mradi kichefuchefu. Tunasikitishwa kumiliki miradi ya aina hii.
We are not happy to have projects like this one. The government and Honorable President has given a lot of money. More than 30 million has been spent on the source, and we cannot just neglect it.
Mheshimiwa Naibu Waziri, jumla ya miradi 18 imetekelezwa katika awamu ya kwanza ya WSDP.
A total of 18 projects were implemented during the first phase, and this is one of the projects. Two projects were not working because of contractual disagreements. Setiani, we ask that you help the people of Rungwe so they too benefit.
With a few hours remaining until the new year 2021, various religious denominations in Magu District, Mwanza region have held prayers to pray for peace in the country.
Let us take care of a girl child so that she is able to get an education. What is sad about this district is from January to December, 87 girl students fell pregnant. Tanzania is blessed with one thing that a lot of nations don't have. We have peace. If we lacked peace, then we could not be able to hold such gatherings. This is a disgrace for our district. A lot of children are getting pregnant.
In Kilimanjaro region, various religious denominations have conducted a prayer journey around Mount Kilimanjaro to welcome the new year.
This year, God has allowed us to engage in this spiritual prayer surrounding Mount Kilimanjaro, aimed at asking God to bring spiritual transformation.
Unapoomba mahali pa juu, unamuinua Mungu.
When you pray from a high place, you uplift God.
Mambo makubwa ya ajabu.
Wito wangu kama kiongozi wa dini ni kwamba Mkristo yoyote maombi ni silaha.
For any Christian, prayer is a weapon.
The police force in Mwanza and Morogoro regions have warned of taking stern action against anyone found to cause chaos or violate road safety regulations.
Si malengo ya jeshi la polisi kwamba watu washerehekee sikukuu wakiwa mahabusu. Lakini ukiwa mlevi ukajifanya mwehu, ukafanya vitendo vya ukiukaji wa sheria, tutakukamata.
It is not the police force's intention to see people celebrate the new year while in custody, but if you get drunk and break the law, you will be arrested.
Ni watake wahalifu wanaopanga au wanaofikiria kufanya uhalifu hapa mkoani Morogoro waache.
Anyone planning to break the law here in Morogoro must refrain from doing so because we'll arrest him. Let me warn lawbreakers outside Morogoro planning to come to Morogoro to commit crime that they will not live safe.
Hawatatoka salama, hawatatoka salama.
And that is the end of national news. International news follows next. And in international news, the presidential candidate from the National Unity Platform, NUP, Robert Kyagulanyi, popularly known as Bobi Wine, have announced that he will continue with his election campaigns despite the arrest of his supporters and others being killed. He said he will continue with his campaign to remove President Yoweri Museveni from power and will not be put off with harassment from security officers.
And we assure them that we shall not.
I assure them that we will not relent until we liberate ourselves. I'd like to insist that my life is in danger and the lives of those I work with.
But all the people of Uganda.
With a few hours remaining to New Year, a report from research company Infotrack in Kenya say that many Kenyans during 2020 faced economic hardships due to the coronavirus pandemic. Kenyans this year will be marking the New Year 2021 with restrictions as public gatherings have been banned due to the COVID-19.
Some of the areas that have affected Kenyans this year include the high cost of living, lack of employment, and health.
Donald Trump's presidency is in its final days, forcing the first family to find new living accommodations. But some prospective new neighbors in the elite Florida community where he wants to move to are fighting to keep him out. A group of Palm Beach residents who live near Trump's Mar-a-Lago club who are asking town officials to keep Trump from moving there permanently after his presidency. They cite an agreement he made nearly 30 years ago that forbids him from establishing residency on the property. And that is the end of international news. Business news follows shortly after the break. We'll be right back.
Watch Business Edition as we talk to business leaders and experts in sectors that are transforming Tanzania's economy.
We believe that the driver is the customer.
To change the mindset of traditional HR to the digitalization.
Make sure that everybody can get some access to financial services.
And once we understand the vision of our leaders, we then need to be behind them and help them in achieving that vision.
Business have involved mercantile operations, trade guilds, or shared agricultural production, infrastructure, construction, financial sectors, tourism, and mining. Business Edition on Friday at 8:15 p.m.
And in business news tonight, the government has said it is looking into ways of coming up with a one-stop center for paying livestock and fisheries levies, as well as remove taxes which hinder the development of the sectors.
We must look at different taxes and have one center to pay from.
Mheshimiwa Waziri, tunaomba kupitia wizara yako.
We must have an alternative to producing fish food in the country. You must form fishing groups for women, people with disability and the youth, so you can come and get credit from the municipal council.
And the government has reiterated it will continue to take stern action against leaders who embezzle members' assets in cooperative unions and cautioned members to avoid choosing corrupt leaders.
The work that they do is centered towards serving the general public. It is like work done by nuns, and if they want a reward, they should wait once they get to heaven. We don't have any problems regarding sensitization. The problem is with control. We've invested so much to ensure that cooperative unions continue to prosper.
And that is the end of business news. Sports news follows next.
Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment of going away. Gay trying to go with him, and he's being dragged through to second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment of going away. Gay trying to go with him, and he's being dragged through to second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Opposition, Joaquinho, he did lose to Lynn.
In sports news, the Premier League game between Yanga Sports Club and Tanzania Prisons played at the Nelson Mandela ground in Sumbawanga, Rukwa region has ended with a 1-1 draw. Yanga now completes the first round of the league without a defeat.
Wamefanya vizuri, lakini pia Prison nao wametupa heshima kwa sababu wangekuwa wanafungwa uwanja wa nyumbani kila mechi ingepelekea hata ile morali ya mashabiki kushuka. Kwa hiyo sisi tunawapongeza vijana na tupo pamoja nao. Kwa hiyo ni mechi mzuri.
Zipongeze timu zote mbili, wamecheza kwa kujituma, kwa kujiamini. That's why wameweza kutoka na ushindi wa goli 1-1. Wamekutana. Ni mechi ambayo kimsingi ni ngumu. Wamekuja watani zetu hapa wakalala kwa goli 1.
Now, DR Congo striker Idris Mbombo has revealed advanced talks with young Africans with the aim of joining the mainland Premier League giants in the December-January transfer window. Here's the story.
Currently at Zambian Giants and Kana FC, Mbombo said the ball is now on Yanga's court after he tabled his demands before putting pen to paper on a deal with Team Wananchi. The former Cabo Warriors and Zesco United striker said the urge of joining the record Tanzanian League champions has been made even urgent by the need to venture outside Zambia. Mbombo said he has been urged to join Yanga by his compatriots Mukoko Tonombe and Twisila Kisinda.
A stunning 12 months for Lewis Hamilton and off the track, which included equaling Michael Schumacher's record of 7 Formula One titles and becoming an increasingly powerful voice for diversity in his sport, has ended with a knighthood in the New Year Hours list. Here are more details.
The 35-year-old becomes the 4th Formula One driver to be knighted after 2 fellow Britons, Sir Sterling Moss and Sir Jackie Stewart, and Australia's Sir Jack Brabham. There had been a question mark over whether Hamilton, who also surpassed Schumacher's record of Grand Prix victories in 2020, will be knighted given he lives in the tax haven of Monaco. But it was reported that the Prime Minister Boris Johnson had personally intervened to ensure Hamilton will be rewarded for his sporting achievements. It was confirmed yesterday that Hamilton, who in September also set up a commission to analyze the lack of diversity in motor racing, had been recognized through the diplomatic and overseas list rather than the domestic list to avoid controversy over his Turks returns.
And the Premier League has insisted it retains full confidence in its COVID-19 protocols after last night's game between Tottenham and Fulham became the second fixture to be called off in the pace of 3 days, raising concerns that the season may have to be put on hold. Here's the...
As Tottenham responded to the latest postponement with anger behind the scenes, the league continued to play down the possibility of the season being curtailed, despite mounting pressure. The growing scale of the problem was illustrated when the Premier League announced a record 18 positive results among players and staff from tests conducted last week. 5 of those tests came at Manchester City, whose trip to Everton was called off on Monday.
Swansea are set to launch an investigation after their goalless draw with Reading was mirrored by booing and jeering outside the Liberty Stadium as both teams took the knee before kick-off. Here are more details.
The Welsh side will aim to get to the bottom of the issue after it happened for their second successive home game. As both sides took the knee before kick-off in support of anti-racism causes, a loud series of horns and bowing noses were heard from a group gathered outside the ground. It is unclear who the group were or what their motives were. Swansea manager Steve Cooper said, "I heard some noises, but I couldn't tell what it was. Let's find out and the reasons behind it. In terms of taking the knee, we are a club which has continued to commit to it."
And that sports item ends our news bulletin for tonight. My name is Khadija Zimbwe. Thank you for watching and Happy New Year 2021.
You can